show.
Opinions expressed in the following sponsored program are not necessarily those of KSCO Radio, its staff, management, or advertisers. If something is said with which you disagree, please call us during the program in order to help us balance comments.
Yes, Santa Cruz, how you feeling? Happy 2022. I'm Christopher Carr. Thank you for tuning in to Santa Cruz Cannabis Talk Radio. This is the Cannabis Connection. Welcome back. It's an honor to have you with us this evening. Our guests tonight are Daniel and Brian, aka Old E and Bleezy of Mendo Dope. Mendo Dope is known for its music and the YouTube videos that celebrate the culture and communities of California's Emerald Triangle. Old E and Bleezy started working as cannabis trimmers in 2007. Gradually, their home garden grew larger, which culminated in a raid by the Mendocino County Sheriff's Office in 2013. Although the garden was within the legal plant count limit of 25, they were very, very large. These boys grow monsters. Legendary, massive canopy, massive plants, big trees, redwood trees with pineapples, as the Soil King likes to say. And with the sheriff, he claimed and said they were no longer legal, so their garden was destroyed in 2013. Shortly after the California legalized cannabis, they paired up with Mark Grayshark to produce a range of new cultivars that could grow as giants through Green Shock Farms using the Mendo Dope brand. The most popular cultivar of this moment is the Tropical Sleigh Ride, a winner of the highest terpene flower and most interesting terpene cannabinoid combination at the 2019 Emerald Cup, and their Passion Orange Guava took second place. I've been honored to call these boys friends and to watch their progression and evolution in this space as artists, as growers, as educators, as brothers, as men in their respective communities, and supporting the culture, cannabis culture. That is what we're here for. That is why we come and show up and pour our hearts and our energy into this broadcast every week. So welcome to the Cannabis Connection. I present to you Mendo Dope.
What's up, guys?
What's up? How you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. Yeah, doing awesome. Just, getting 2022 kicked off.
That's right. Likewise, we set this up right after your set, and maybe we can start there, man. You guys slayed it. You crushed an amazing set on the Emerald Cup main stage. Can you speak to that? Because you guys have been in it since the beginning, and to see you on that main stage, I was proud. You made everybody proud that day. It was quite the show. An amazing set. Your band is just locked in, nice and tight.
That's awesome to hear, brother. We really appreciate that. And, speaking on being able to perform at the Emerald Cup, it was like, it was a dream come true for us. Like, we've been trying to get on that stage for many, many, many years. And our fans have been trying to get us on that stage for a long time. And, over this different past, we've been turned down because the venue wouldn't allow hip-hop music, this different thing. We just kept kind of getting turned down and shut out of the way, even though, what we sing and rap about is the true cannabis culture, and the Emerald Cup is our stomping ground. So to finally break through, and with the help of our fans, tagging and letting them know that they want to see us perform, and I think it took some time for the team over there to really soak up the vibes and see what we were really about and what we were doing. I think we finally just earned our chance to get up on the stage, and we were just so happy to be able to perform on the main stage as well. And it was just so much fun. The band, we've been really practicing hard on getting everything really tight and dialed in and just trying to level it up to the next stage. So it was so much fun. It was a dedication to our brothers, our fallen soldiers, Subcool, Eddie Left, Frenchie Noli, which, we were celebrating Frenchie's birthday at the Emerald Cup for years. Every time we'd meet up there and we'd party and celebrate. So all the OGs were in our head, and it was something special for all of us, and a dedication to them.
Nicely said, and that's what's up, man. That's the best way to pay homage and to celebrate a life is to bring that joy and a feeling of catharsis. There was an emotional release. Literally, the clouds were opening up while you guys were on stage. We had this like amazing downpour in the mix of the ganja clouds with the downpour of the rain and the lights and your beautiful like photography and can you maybe speak to that a little bit? And you guys have, it's clear to me as a musician and as someone that has been just dedicated to sound and word, sound, and power over the years. You guys have a really cool lineup. There was a new guitar player too that I had never seen before. Of course, Trevor and Blap, Mr. Blap, and I mean, can you speak to the band? And I'd like to give them just a quick shout out because the group itself, the cohesion of bringing live hip hop too. That's the other piece that I love about Mendo Dope is for a novice or anyone that cares about the culture, that cares about the plant, the bars, the lyrics are so cohesive and so on point with the education. But then it takes a village. You have an entourage that each Bleezy's beats, and the amazing bass lines, the guitar, the whole group as a unit has really evolved and leveled up, and that tightness, you could tell you've been putting in the work, putting in the practice, and I just want to give each musician a little bit of recognition because I was tired. I mean, we had a really nice small farms initiative and we were doing that booth life. It was the first year where I actually held down a booth with a team and that was a cool experience, different experience, but really, really special. And it felt so good after these plague times to see everybody. But I took my one break of the weekend and I saw your set and I was pumped on it. It was actually well worth the wait and after, the pandemic. But yeah, speak to that process of your band and you guys are not just hip hop, but you're a cohesive band putting the music together, which I commend you on because I've seen many hip hop shows here in Santa Cruz at the Catalyst and even some legends like Bone Thugs and Harmony and but they didn't have a full band behind them, and that's what I love about your sound and all that hard work is coming to fruition. I just want to compliment you guys on that and give you an opportunity to speak to the players.
Sweet, yeah, we really appreciate that. Yeah, it's like, growing up, we were for sure listened to hip hop a lot, but even before that, when we were kids, everything on the radio was like classic rock and country and stuff like that. So that's like stuck with us a lot. And even like going to our first like real serious like concerts, like festivals, like Reggae on the River, the band is huge. It's a crazy vibe when you have a band, and it's just so powerful. And it looked like so much fun. And as we started getting more serious in music, and as we did more concerts growing up and stuff, and there's only a few concerts that we would do that there would be that much bands and stuff, but we would go to other concerts and see bands and stuff. And to like have our own band now and like to strive to take music more seriously, and even though it's a huge challenge, and the band it's a huge challenge to have a band. I see why people don't do it a lot. We're pretty spread out. So like, Mr. Black, the drummer, he's in Sacramento.
Wow.
And is in Napa. We're in Mendo. So we're 2 hours from Trevor. We're 3 hours from Mr. Black. We all meet up at Trevor's in Napa. It's like the middle point for us. Johnny Fingers, the guitar player, he's pretty close to Trevor, so he's lucky.
Yep.
He's right in the middle, so it's very interesting. But this band we've always clicked for a long time. We've been doing a lot of music together before we took it as a whole. We do a lot of stuff in the studio, and I would piece things together from Trevor. Go to a different studio, piece stuff together with Johnny. Black, we just been doing music with Black and vocals and beats and stuff, and he always said he could be a drummer, and then after a while, we're like, let's see what you got. And you want to try to just drum for a little bit? And right away, he was very good at it, and we're super impressed. And so it's just it's one of those things that happen to us where we say some things randomly work out, and it's like just having all these guys kind of be available to be the Mendo Dope bands it was very random and very cool how it
Yeah, it definitely feels like it was all kind of meant to come together. Like to break it down to like each of the band members. Like Mr. Black, I think we met him. It was probably I think it was 2008 when we first met Mr. Black with Reek Daddy. And Reek Daddy was the one, who got us started in music, who really gave us an opportunity to start doing music and built this whole thing and gave us our name, Mendo Dope even. So we met through him, and Black was an engineer, a producer. He was doing all kinds of things. So right away we were looking up to him, like, man, look how much stuff he's doing. Look how smart he is in the music thing. And we've heard different music from him that sounded really cool. He was able to rap and sing, so he had both styles going. And as over the years, we worked together on numerous projects. And after all this started coming up about with doing more live shows, because like the more shows that we were doing, we started to realize that we could only get to the next level of shows with like a good chance of doing that is having a band, like to actually bringing that full element together. It's rare for, say, more like upcoming like hip hop artists or such to be on big festivals with, unless you have a big name, is like the only people that are going to be rocking with no bands there.
Yeah. Trying to get to the, bigger things that we've looked up to or whatever, and festivals are one of those that a band is, you have to have a band with, like, even as a hip hop artist, it's like to have a band it's so perfect for these certain concerts. It seems like, some of these mainstream concerts are like different ones look really cool even though they don't have a band, but it's for sure totally different. You have to have some big songs and some fireworks and some light shows and all this stuff. Plus it's way funner to be with a group of people and bounce off of each other. It's a funner vibe. There's been a lot of shows back in the day that we would go to, just me and Oldie, and just pull up the DJ thing, or a lot of times I wasn't DJing, so I just give the DJ the flash drive, and Oldie does his thing by himself, and it's a totally different setup. It's just super fun doing it like this. Even harder, it's way more fun, so it's way more worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it came through for sure. The energy, you guys had a really a spark in the crowd, which was it was contagious. I mean, just being in the crowd, I'm sure from your perspective too. I mean, it's a massive space, to fill that space, and with that weather, it was kind of cold, it was kind of wet, but I felt like, when you have a band, especially in this genre of hip hop, and like what Bleezy was saying too, I see a lot of hip hop artists they just roll with a flash drive, but to bring that energy, in this time specifically, right? We talked before the show a little bit about how these are really, the farmers are struggling. These are like really tough times, unprecedented. We've had ups and downs, but you guys really provided that release energetically, and I do credit like that band can really lock that in. It really came through.
Yeah, it's cool. It's super cool. Even like Andre Nicotina, we did a show with him one time, and he saw the band, and he's been a super fan of it for a while now, since like a couple of years that we did that first show with him, and he's like, man, you guys are a band. He's like, you guys could play on a Wednesday night and shit. Fine. Like, I can't play on a Tuesday and shit.
It's so cool rocking with these guys. Like to bring back to the other bandmates, Trevor Lyon, and really we met Johnny around the same time, because Trevor and Johnny had been playing together in a band previously for a lot of years. These cats are OGs compared to us. They've been making music, damn near almost as long as we've been around.
Yeah, so Johnny's been playing guitar. His mom came to our last concert, and she was played since he was a little kid. Like,
these are
good 30, 40 years playing guitar.
Seasoned veterans, so it's a blessing to be able to work with them. And we met Trevor Lyon. He had came out to a concert up here in Ukiah, just a small little hip hop show, and a person that we knew that was a promoter. We had worked with him numerous times, and so we wanted to come out and check out the show and
Big ups,
see
Trevor
what
Lyon.
Trevor was all about. So first time we saw him perform, we were like, oh,
Mr.
this
Blap,
guy's
Johnny
cool. He's like
Fingers.
different. He's got some shit going. He had
Salute
a
you.
blend of kind of rap style, but then also really reggae, like roots kind of style. So right away we approached him and we're like, yo, we should collab on a song. And I think the first song that we recorded together was in 2012. So it's coming up on 10 years that we've been recording tracks together.
Woo!
That first track together, it was like, man, we clicked so much right away. The vibes were so cool. And then after that is when we really started getting into more live music. And Trevor was a player. We're like, damn, he could lay live bass right up in the studio. And then we got introduced to Johnny Fingers, who, Trevor's been playing with. So that was probably 2012 when we had met Johnny also, because our first album that had live instruments on it was Planters of the Trees. It was and that was 2013. So that was the kind of the kickoff of working with live instruments and starting to notice the difference and just how fun it was, and gradually wanting to get into expanding and doing bigger shows. We knew we had to build a band somehow, and it worked out where, Blap said that he was a drummer before, so he was ready. Trevor, he wasn't too locked down with the other band that he was working with, so he was pretty open to start working with us, and same with Johnny. So after stuff started, kind of the ball was rolling and we were able to get more shows, these guys, became really more dedicated to Mendo Dope, and like we started really build the team and we started doing it, and it was like so awesome. It's been so much fun just on CD projects, recording stuff together, and then now being able to go out and be able to perform at things like Boston Freedom Rally and High Times, and now the Emerald Cup. It's like, it's such huge, big staples for us to be able to go out and touch these stages and bring our music to everyone in a live form.
Well, yeah, and you continue to have your sound is evolving, and you have a brand new album out, M's in the Air, and we were listening to some of the root stuff from the 2013, and then some stuff from 2017, and then there's this fresh new album, and I just want to commend you guys too, because you have a very special original sound. So you just got to keep going. And what's really impressive too is how you guys are all hours away, yet you have that ability to just bring it together in the studio and then bring it together on the stage. And as a bass player myself, I know that takes you guys definitely put in the work. You have those tracks down. You each individually are so talented, and you've put in. I mean, it's there's a reason why these OGs are playing with you guys. You guys got this really special thing going. And whenever a band has that original sound, yet still, like you mentioned with Trevor Lyon and that like roots, I mean, he played some Barrington Levy or some Black Uhuru bass, like some throwbacks. I mean, it's so fun to see the mixing and matching of genres, which is very much the roots of hip hop. Lexi and I, like my wife and I, have been doing radio shows in Boulder Creek, and we've been going through the Isley Brothers, and we're like, oh, this is a Biggie beat, but it's, this is the original song they sampled, or even like some Ice Cube from the Isley Brothers as well. And I was like, oh, East Coast and West Coast, this one band was like the source of all this creation and that reinventing of the sound. And I think especially I just love the musicianship and the artisanal work you guys are doing with the sound, and just keep going, because it's nice to see original bands in this time where everybody's ripping things off. Oh yeah, we'll get to that for sure. So we got callers calling in, and they're asking about rocking some tunes, and I got the link, and I appreciate you guys sharing the link, but I'm also on YouTube. It might be easier for us to do it live on YouTube. Is there a specific track that we could showcase for our listeners, for our audience, because they're asking about your music? Any suggestions I should jam out here?
Even though we just dropped this brand new CD, there's the song we dropped right before that I really like.
The Ganja Goat is the latest single that we dropped right before this new album. I guess Bleezy, he's on that one.
I don't know which one was. The last album, we can talk about it here soon too, but kind of a different vibe than most of our other albums. It was one to do to mix it up, kind of. The ganja goat's kind of the evolution of what we've been doing.
Is that cool if I try to play a little bit of Ganja Goat? 3 months ago, it looks like it was just posted. All right, let me do that.
To go, feeling like the greatest of all time. Get you high with this dope rhyme. Teaching cultivation worldwide. On the ganja go. I'ma get you high with this dope rhyme. On the ganja go. Feeling like the greatest of all time. Get you high with this dope rhyme. Teaching cultivation worldwide. On the ganja go.
Look at this video, guys.
I'ma get you high with this dope rhyme. I've been growing for over a decade. Built brands, helped y'all get paid. Full term, sun grown high grade.
Like ladybugs on them.
Mendo, the hills I was raised. Did it all on our own, self-made. Last on the Emerald Chalk Lane.
Look at
I'm
the
the ganja goat, I microscope the dope. And yo knows is the only thing that grows y'all. Just like Pinocchio's, you never had toes stacked on top of toes. The only time you ever seen the field of dreams is when you sipped the lean and fell asleep. You had a dream but woke up in the seats. I'ma teach these cats how to grow some weed. I don't use no chemicals, got CBD instead of pills. Get THCA straight from Gill. No, I won't change, I keep it real. Let's crack the seal on this. Jar smells like an orange peel in this. Roll it, light it, now we feeling this. Crystal shining, now we healing this. Pain that I had is gone. Say what I had in the bag was wrong. Then I grew up and I found out what I had in my backpack and the bag was bomb. Tell them move on if you ain't down. Take what I'm passing round. Born in a ganja town, every year I plant new seeds in the ground. On the ganja to go. Feeling like the greatest of all time. Get you high with this dope rhyme. Teaching cultivation worldwide.
That's black.
On the ganja go.
That's all my homies.
I'ma get you high with this dope rhyme. On the ganja go. Feeling like the greatest of all time. Get you high with this dope rhyme. Teaching cultivation worldwide. On the ganja go. Only I'ma get you high with this dope rhyme. Yo, I'ma gas on this. Write my rap with hash on this. Fingerprints of resin, I'm representing ganja farmer back on this. Been growing that dank. Right straight from the outlaw scene. I'ma break this down like enzymes in the soil from the alfalfa seeds. SSTs, brew with these, grew the trees, who taught ya? Sticky smelling like lemon squeeze on all this good green ganja. If it ain't turkey, don't want ya. I got too much variety to choose, all green shock ya. I'm one of the best to ever do it. Got laced by the ones who led the movement. Set trends on the world the way we grew it. As he did it, just how we do it. Some more of it. When I roll this potent dope in it, shakes your focus, hold it in and choke. Real we culture what I spoke and I teach this technique coast to coast. Let's toast. We don't brag, but we do got enough fresh weed in December to fill up Santa Claus bag. I'ma go bad if I ain't got no smoke. Shit, I'ma jump out in the field, start chewing on plants. Don't trip on me, I'm a ganja goat. Feeling like the greatest of all time. Get you high with this dope rhyme. Teaching cultivation worldwide. I'm the ganja goat. I'ma get you high with this dope rhyme. I'm the ganja goat. Feeling like the greatest of all time. Get you high with this dope rhyme. Teaching cultivation worldwide. I'm the ganja goat. I'ma get you high with this dope rhyme.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Mendo Dope, Ganja Goat. Whoa, that's a fresh track. Well done. And are you sprinkling some mycorrhiza on the clone at the end there? Oh, beneficials. Oh, totally. It was definitely Scarface status. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we have a lot of hazels working with extreme, and that stuff goes a long way. Really, we try to use, we get it to in the big ass bags, like the big white bags, and we go through a lot, and it still lasts forever. So It was it was a big old pile.
We had extra for a video shot.
Hey, that was quite the video. So what's up with that? Do you guys work with, is it Jay Synth or filmed by Jay Synth? Or speak to that. I mean, you guys not only are producing and recording and performing, but you have all this media content. I mean, and what you speak about in the song is a good segue of educating cultivation worldwide and leveraging this opportunity, this moment with social media and YouTube. That's something that I've always appreciated about you too, is you're liberating that knowledge to the people, to the masses, and building this larger cannabis community and preserving that culture, which is really prevalent in the message and the music. And I'm obviously a fan, right? And a fan of music with a message, and your message has always been like that quality medicine, getting it to the patients, and keeping your integrity. You got integrity in your farm, you know. But you speak to that, man. Like, I love it. And the Ganja Goat track really is a nice summation. And once again, it's a level up. You guys continue to level up, and I just love this trajectory.
Yeah, that one's you know, a little bit more of a, it's got that mainstream style bass in it, that flapper 808 with the guitar, so it's
Slaps.
up to date flapper version. Super cool track.
The beat was produced by Mr. Track.
Yeah, I didn't even make that beat. That's what's funny. I would even recommend the song. I make most all the beats, and I'm so used to it. But I do hog the whole CD a lot. You know, I have a whole bunch of beats from people all the time. But that one right there, I just love that one so much, and I'm always like, let's listen to that one. Even though I didn't make the beat. I'm like, I gotta listen to it.
That was a cool project that came about. You know, we our homie P Did It, Samoa Lovett crew out there in Sacramento. She introduced us to this cat named Flossie, who has a independent record label called State of Gold Music. And she showed him our music, and he was really vibing, really feeling what we were doing, what we had going. So he just kind of wanted to team up and see if we wanted to drop a single together on his label and just kind of bounce off of each other and help get it into maybe a different spot where it would see more people and just kind of branch out and work together. So that was a cool project that came out, that we worked, you know, with the other producer, Make the Beat. We went down to Sacramento and recorded the song in a studio down there. So we just got out of our kind of realm over here in our studio in our mountains and went over and kind of wanted to give a little different feel to it. And it was a fun track for sure, because it just got, that beat was like, made me want to just kind of gas a lot on the rhymes. And it was perfect timing where we were in a good vibe. It was just like a happy celebration, just feeling the vibe.
Yeah, it's like the video, like the homie from State of Gold, he does a lot of videos through Jay Synth, which we worked with before, and he's done videos, like hundreds and hundreds of videos. He works with everyone in the Bay Area, like most any rapper pretty much, even outside of Cali, has probably got a video by him now. He did one with Hunter Lucas, E40, and T.I. recently. That's really big. He's a real good videographer. So when he came through, we had all these scenes planned out. We had our homie's goat that we borrowed. It's cool doing videos, but we still feel like our videos aren't where we want them to be yet. It's hard to make a super good music video for us still, especially if we're doing it. We don't have a photographer, like we take turns filming it, or we set, however we end up doing it for that scene. We don't have someone else besides us. So when we have someone like this especially come through, it's super cool to just go really hard and let them do a lot of work.
Yeah, it's been such an honor to be able to work with on the few videos that we've done with him. Was the Mendo Dope song we filmed with him, Press Rewind, and now this Ganja Goat track. And, you know, the first time we met Synth was, you know, he's from Sacramento, and we met him, I'd say, probably almost around the time when we met Black, the first time we ever met Synth. And this was before, I believe, that Synth was even starting to do videos. He was a producer making all kind of beats and stuff. Like, we heard all kind of dope-ass beats from him on different projects, and this was in the beginning of our music career, of like listening to all this other music and feeling it. And and able to meet him for the couple times we knew he was a dope ass producer and a cool ass dude. And then over time he started getting into video stuff, and like Bleezy was saying, he's filmed, I don't know, thousands of videos. He's been all over the world filming stuff and worked with so many artists. It's really cool to bring in someone so talented like him, who's, you know, knows what they're doing, who's like, he's passionate about his film, and it's like with us, with our making music and farming, that's what we really like to focus on, even though we do a lot of our own filming. Like, I'd say, you know, most of the videos that we've ever dropped, like music videos even too, have been filmed by us. There's not been those few that we've filmed with Synth, and I don't even know, maybe a couple others, but you know, we always learn all the time. So we have fun filming, but it's not our lane that we're like, oh yeah, we're video filmers, you know, music video masters. We don't feel like that at all. So it's really cool to bring in people who are like, that's their lane.
Hey, it's the collaboration, it's the diversification, and it takes a village. It is nice to be in that situation and let the true videographers do their thing. And I mean, that was fun watching, because you see Blap in the video, you see the whole crew, you know, with the hay bales in the garden, and that is your homie's got a really good looking goat. I mean, that goat's like the model. It's the star. It's looking proper, walking through those ganja trees.
You know, it's so funny because, you know, when the video came out, he looks like he's the fucking proper ass trained.
Did you lose him?
I don't know.
He's like, he was warning us that it's possible he'll turn and he'll hit you. So be careful, you know, when you gotta make sure you can handle them strong and just be careful about it. So, but overall, we got plenty of the shots that we needed, but he wasn't the most cooperative.
So, I mean, and this is a good segue, because the garden, you know, this is you're in the new Ed Rosenthal book. I mean, can you speak to that too? I mean, you guys are just all over the map. I mean, I feel like as musicians, you know, you're evolving, and then as growers and breeders and educators, to be in an Ed Rosenthal book is like the cover of Rolling Stone for a musician back in the day. I mean, this is in the ganja culture. This is timeless. Can you speak to that? And we're getting close. I mean, it's obviously it's winter, but I do want to think about, because you've had Live from the Garden, and you've been educating people with growing from seed, and I'd love just to hear your experience with this contribution to the Ed Rosenthal Cannabis Growers Handbook that just came out, and then even, you know, giving our audience, you know, tips on you know, the next actions for getting the seeds going in the next round for the 22 garden.
For sure, no doubt. First of all, it's definitely such a huge honor to be able to have a chance to be in an Ed Rosenthal book. I mean, for us as kids growing up, some of the first stuff about weed that we ever saw and read about was from Ed Rosenthal. So it's so cool that we've been able to get from there and do this full circle to be able to work amongst the guys and like have a piece in that book is like, it means so much to us, and we really didn't even see it coming. It was like they out of nowhere, like we got to meet Ed Rosenthal a couple times up on the farm on Greenstalk Farms with Mark and Jeannie and the crew.
Yeah, because Mark knows Ed pretty good.
Yep.
Nice.
Fun times on the farm. I know Bleezy, he got a little more fun out of.
Oh yeah, one day there, Dano had to leave early one day with his kid life that he's got, you know. And it's so funny because Mark was telling us about Ed doing it in a previous year, and we're like, no way, you know Ed, and he came to the garden and had harvest, and he did the craziest style, most vicious harvest, and so I got to see it live when he came over. It was so funny. We were just laughing so hard. And Ed, I know, still was getting to know Ed, so he's a trippy dude. Like, he's so funny. He likes to fuck around. Like, he's like, we were dying laughing, and he's just like, he was chopping the plant down so viciously, and we're just laughing at him, and he's like with it. It was so funny. Just the way that like getting us to just laugh. Like, and we were talking so much shit, just fucking around too. And oh, you like that? Oh, you like that?
He is a character. He's been, like you said, he's since the 70s. I think the first book was with Mel Frank in the early 70s. That's over 50 years ago, and he's still coming out to gardens, and he's still pumping out books. And I think it's really exciting to see you guys in the. It was a pleasant surprise because we booked this at the Emerald Cup. I got a copy of the book weeks later. I was looking at garden plans for a farm here in Santa Cruz, and I was like, "Oh, word! There's my boys. They're right here." And there's Mark, and sure enough, we were there. It's a pretty nice little contribution because you guys speak to a little bit of the process of the mound in your garden and the approach, and maybe you can speak to. I mean, you have full on seasons of educating people, but just a little bit about. I'd love to hear about some of the maybe the new work too that you're looking forward to germinating this year in the garden.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the spread is really nice. Ed gave us a real good chunk of that couple pages. I was really cool to see. The pictures looked awesome in there, and the information that was in there it's super nice. It was really cool, and that style that we've been doing up there for the last few years when we're in the ground and not in the smart pots, it's just so cool to see these no-till techniques to use so fully, and to see this plant so happy with while saving a shitload of money and saving a lot of work too. So it's really cool to see that in this book. What's that?
No, I was just thinking too. I mean, I do want to pay some homage because you guys, you've been growing in those smart pots, and you've collaborated with quite a few legends, and it is nice to give thanks for the lives of Eddie Lepp, the OGs, right? Eddie Lepp, and you mentioned Frenchie Cannoli, and a lot of our community had that honor of the hookah, right? The hash celebration of his birthday, and these OGs had this openness about them that was so genuine, so authentic. When we speak to cannabis culture, these were living examples that we all are trying to continue that legacy of love for the plant, but love for the people, right? Love for the patients and love for the earth. And Sub, I'd love to hear a little bit about your guys's, because you were very close with Sub Cool, and I know you also have some lines that continue from that original work he was a part of, and there's also some stuff in the book about some mixed ratio cultivars too, like the CBD and the THC. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because I have had a lot of people approach the radio show, and I think there is a desire in the greater cannabis community to find more mixed ratio lines to grow, and a lot of people are looking for a more diverse cannabinoid ratio in the flowers they grow this season. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, and your history too, with a little bit of Subcool background.
For sure, yeah. To speak on Sub, it was just such a cool. The whole journey that we got to have with Subcool was life changing for us, and like opened up so many doors for what we were trying to do and what he was already doing, and like. We just wanted to, it all started with us just trying to give respect back to Sub and to some of these OGs. Like when we made the TGA Sub Cool Seed song, that was just having fun. Had been growing TGA genetics for a couple years. Our buddy Nick B, who passed away, he's the one who introduced us to TGA a long time ago. I mean, he's growing TGA back in 2007, I think.
Yeah, I'm 7
Or even earlier.
Probably even 2006, 2005.
Yeah.
He was following the school when he was just on the forums before he was even on YouTube or any videos ever came out, before his past video came out or anything.
Yeah, so it's just like first just getting to know his grains and seeing how cool they were and how different it was. It was such body, and it just stood out different amongst a lot of stuff that we had been seeing over the time so far. So once we had a chance to go to a Cannabis Cup, it was about 2011. That was the first time we actually met Doug at a booth and bought seeds straight from him. We have a signed pack of Space Bomb actually that we have put away. That's the first one that we bought. And ever since then, like, we really got into it more. We made the song after working with more genetics. Like, next cup we go to, let's bring Sub this song and just like give it to him and see if he listens to it. And we gave him the song, or gave him the CD, not knowing if he would really take a listen to it or not. And he actually did. One of the, like, I don't even know how long it was after that, but on one of the Weed Nerds, he was talking some shit on there, doing his normal spill about everything, and he's like, he got this music I got from a couple people, and he played it on the Weed Nerd, and we're like, no way, he actually played the music, and it was so shocking to us. Like, we're so excited for the next cut to go up and talk to him and thank him for that. And right there, he just opened his arms, like, welcomed us right into the booth and wanted us to sit down, hang out. He said how much he loved the music, and from there on, like, we built such a cool relationship, and over the next, however many years, we just were in the garden together. We were soaking knowledge about breeding from him over the whole time. You know, it took us a while to really want to get into breeding. It just wasn't something that we were ready to get into back then. Like, we were just in so much music and just growing the genetics. We were having so much fun just farming. And Sub he wanted to start coming down to film the garden, because we would tell him about the plants. We show him pictures of how big we were growing this crazy train or this Jack the Ripper and all these flavors. So at the time, we didn't film much at all in the garden. We were always kind of against showing that much stuff at the time.
Yeah, we filmed. We just started taking pictures, maybe not the video, but maybe a couple tiny videos on some real old ass cameras.
Yeah,
but never showing no one but just the homies, and it wasn't even like the homies. It was just like very small.
It was basically just us to film ourselves or whatever, but it wasn't even nothing like what it turned into. Because once Sub came out and was walking through the garden, doing his weed there, talking about the plants, interviewing us, like, it was so much fun. Where it was like, man, we need to start, doing filming too. And shortly after that, that's when we got raided in 2013. That was during when Sub had been coming up and filming through the garden. So, super devastating, but we're thankful that at the time Subcool was filming so much that we got to get footage of the garden that we didn't have. We had pictures, back when TC was working with Subcool and taking photography and doing all the pictures. So from there, it is Sub's videos of him teaching people, and then us getting raided and them saying that we grew too big of plants and it's out of we're over the limit. It just really, all that together combined made us want to start filming and showing people how to grow big trees. If they're going to limit us to only say that we could grow 6 plants instead of 25, then we're just going to film it all, and we're going to show people, if that could be like this, well, check it out. This is how you grow the biggest tree. And that's when it really started to kick off the whole how to grow, the educational whole segment that we evolved to go into.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I know so many people, I mean, thinking back in those early days, how Sub was on the forums, and now we have so many ways to connect with people all over the world. But I think in California, growing those trees, I know where I grew up in El Dorado County, people are really, there's still draconian sheriffs, right? I know you guys had your experience back in 2013, and we've had our issues here in Santa Cruz and where I grew up in El Dorado County. To this day, 2022, they're still finding reasons to hinder people from getting compliant and launching a legit farm. So by default it's just 6 plants, and I know farmers all over Gold Country growing massive big trees, following the recipes and the advice and the insight and the feedback you provided via these educational platforms. And it's just a great community builder, and I commend you on that and continue that, because it does make a difference. And people are everyone should have a garden, right? Even if it is smaller. And Ed was the one that told me about that too, of just having access. And Pop for Pennies is like a vision, a dream he had in the 70s, right? Just trying to get seeds and that relationship to having a garden to as many people as possible, because there is a lot of peace through cultivation. And I think that is a major step of the culture that we need to continue to support in any way we can. And in many ways, just sharing your experience and providing those pro tips is it's a great public service.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's cool how it all worked out for sure. We talk about it sometimes, and it's crazy to think how much more pounds there are in the world from all the videos that people have soaked up all this knowledge. It's sometimes it's funny now because it's so flooded with weed that everyone's pissed about it. But for the people that are that are really growing for personal and need medicine, and different families and stories that we've had that people have emailed us about, wrote us, and told us about some of the videos that have helped them just get more medicine, and it's so cool to hear that there's so much more cleaner, better pounds out there.
Yep.
From just spreading this knowledge. And there's different, in the very beginning, there's different people around here that weren't probably the happiest with us giving knowledge out, but it never went to people that are like competing against us. It always went to people far away from us and people that needed it. It's not like it was to someone that's just taking someone else's sales or something like that. So it's cool how that worked out.
We always pictured it just such a more of a worldwide kind of thing, where we wanted to put this knowledge out for people anywhere to help you, like you're saying, no matter if it's a small plant, if it's a small garden, there's really nothing like growing just like your own vegetables. There's nothing like growing your own plant and smoking your own personal grown flower. It's like, it's so special.
And there's the exchange too, like giving cannabis away is almost, it's just as nice of a high as enjoying that quality homegrown medicine. And one thing too that resonated at your performance at the Emerald Cup too, in this time of plague, right? These plague times, also this opioid epidemic and the gene therapies and these Pfizer, Moderna, you name it, all this big pharma making a big play in the past 2 years. Part of the message of some of the music, Why We Grow, that song Why We Grow, and I remember that performance, it just clicked to me too, just to remember that there is a natural option, and that relationship with cannabis could really heal the source, or at least provide that relief that a lot of people are looking for, sometimes in the traumas of their history or their past or the upbringing, or just being isolated in 2020. Think about that. We were locked down. Farmers were good because they're always holding it down outside in the sunshine, living healthy. But a lot of people listening to this show, it was a kind of a traumatic time, and I can't imagine all the people living in like the big cities and how isolating it could be, just locked up for weeks and up into months. And here we are 2 years later, still kind of seeing this a surge. But I do think it's really important too to kind of remind everybody and to just acknowledge that cannabis is so good, and it is such a nice alternative to all these chemicals, and it can kind of provide that mind space to, like you were saying, like growing your own vegetables and thinking about these victory gardens or these opportunities to do little things and little victories towards a healthier connection to your health and your family's health, but also the community. I think that's another good reminder, and it's in the music. I encourage everybody listening, and this broadcast will be archived, and more people will discover your music. But I do think that is another powerful message, and it's a good message to continue to share through music. And Word Sound Power in art and your ongoing endeavors is that, you know, you don't need all these chemicals because there's a natural alternative, and it's really righteous. It's cannabis.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. There's so much different styles and different products you can make out of this plant. It's mind blowing. If you want to get super duper toasted, like you're on some kind of pills or opioids, you can do that with weed. If you want to get racy as hell and anxiety mode, whatever, you can do that too with weed. It's like, it's got it all for sure.
It does. No, it's true, and we're learning more and more every year, and the more we see the unraveling of the war on drugs, right, and the prohibition is, you know, we have a whole generation coming up. You guys were speaking to, like, you know, working with Johnny Fingers and Trevor and some of the OGs in the music space, but you also were working with, I mean, you had Ed and Sub and Eddie Lepp and Frenchie. I mean, we're kind of this next generation coming in, filling the void of the on the shoulders of giants we're standing upon, and it's really important for everybody listening, everybody involved, everyone that cares about the culture, to continue the roots of the culture and to steward that legacy forward, because there is a generation coming up that will never know prohibition and would think it would be crazy to think about, you know, getting in trouble for cannabis or having a sheriff show up because you had a garden. But we have to continue to document and preserve the history and also preserve the culture. And I think that's very much what resonated in me watching that performance you just did in December at the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds. And I think collectively we can keep that culture alive. There's hope. That's the one thing. Like, obviously there's struggles. I want to commend all the activists that went to the Capitol yesterday, you know, to support these small farmers. We discussed it via text and, you know, leading into this conversation, but it's just, you know, all the farmers, we see you, we support you, and we're here to keep that culture alive, and I commend you guys on keeping that culture alive too. The Ganja Goat.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
it's for sure. It's very, very crazy how it's just forming into be. It's been very tough. It's very interesting time altogether. Like you're saying, like with the COVID thing and stuff, this is next level enormous stuff to happen to the world, you know what I mean? And we as farmers in Mendo, it's pretty far out the loop, so there is like certain things that while we do what we do, we're not big city, we're not really listening to quarantine rules. We still do what we want to do, mostly out in the mountains. So it's been very intense, and it's just been a crazy time. The way that weed turned into with the legalization's been very crazy. And like you're saying too, people that don't know how it used to be, it's interesting how fast time moves.
Yeah.
Like today we were doing a class, like a teaching class, and there was a helicopter that came by while someone was talking, and a lot of the people in the class were just kind of laughing about it, and they don't even know how that used to be.
Yeah, how much of us have PTSD from the fucking shops that's like...
Yeah, old habits die hard, and we're right at the top of the hour. We've got 30 seconds, and I want to give you guys the last word. I just want to say thank you for coming on the show, and I feel like we started 22 on a good foot, and you guys always bring the good vibes, so thank you, and give us the last word.
Hell yeah, we just want to thank everyone out there for the support. We're going to continue to represent for the cannabis culture. We're going to keep fighting for the plant, for the patient. We got a lot more content.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Brutally cold conditions in much of the eastern part of the United States. New York State Homeland Security and Emergency Services Commissioner Jackie Bray.
Really from the mid-Hudson region, north and west.
We love you.
We've got wind chill in the negative teens. Up in the North Country, we've got wind chill in negative 35, negative 30.
And parts of the Midwest and South also facing very cold conditions, not to mention heavy snow and ice in the forecast for several regions. Near Atlanta, shoppers have been hitting store shelves for supplies road crews trying to prevent any major accidents over the weekend. The National Weather Service says northeast of Georgia could get up to 5 inches of snow by Sunday morning. Also at townhall.com, a new study offers stronger evidence that one of the world's most common viruses may set some people on the path to developing multiple sclerosis.
The
Epstein-Barr virus
That's
has
good. I
long
like a
been a
little
suspect.
rosy.
Harvard researchers tracked
That's
blood
good.
testing of 10 million U.S. military recruits over
Yeah, I'd do a series. That's a good idea.
Epstein-Barr and
Or create a series, live radio,
It's not the only factor because just
or
like everybody gets
show,
Epstein-Barr,
radio
only
show.
a small fraction develop potentially disabling MS, but it may spur vaccine development. We're on the Rockstar Report.
For the first time in 6 months, families Friday are going without a monthly deposit from the child tax credit. The program was intended to be part of President Biden's legacy, but has instead become a flashpoint over who's worthy of the support. Monthly tax credits started arriving
There's one
thanks to
Mendo
Biden's
drop like
$1.9
Mendo
billion
space dope.
virus relief package. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hello everyone, this is Dave Michaels here to tell you about the Ultimate Daily Classic. Now this special formula is designed to promote healthy blood pressure and improved blood flow to all parts of the body without the use of drugs or blood thinners. Improved blood circulation can result in better vision, brain, and kidney function. Ultimate Daily Classic has a mix of minerals, extracts, and herbs all in an easy tablet form. It's got hawthorn berry, ginkgo leaf, bilberry, thymus gland extract, and more. You don't have to go out and gather those things. They're all in there. If you're concerned
Cool.
about blood pressure, kidney, or eye function,
to hear
then
from
you
you.
should check out the Ultimate Daily Classic. For an extra 1-2 punch, add it to the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. To find out more, log on to kscohealth.com.
Cool.
Or call 831
Is it out there?
5720